My God, we're all rolling in oil and money. Let's do it again, shall we? Since yesterday's video triggered enough people, and the views were actually fairly decent for my first video. I'm quite shocked. I'm usually, for those of you who don't know, I am usually the editor for other YouTubers, so it kind of feels good to be at the forefront of it for once. Even if I'm taking a lot of heat from the separatists in the comment sections, or should I say bots. Do we all remember the time where they found links to like right-wing comments and stuff like that to actual bot farms? So there's no coincidence that a lot of these commenters come out of the woodwork in the middle of the night, probably because they're not even Canadian, to be quite honest with you guys. I know, I should be wearing a tinfoil hat, but I wholeheartedly believe that the majority of the commenters that are supporting separatism aren't even Canadians. And I don't think it's a stretch to think either that it might be foreign funded to try and cause division amongst Albertans. Today, I want to talk about one of the main comments that I get from these separatists, right, that are super upset that I live in reality and I am certain that Alberta would crumble and fail if it wasn't for Canada helping support us. It's like a symbiotic relationship. We need each other, okay? But I get a lot of people tell me that I should just move out of Alberta if I don't like it. And I'm here to tell you guys that I will move if separation ever does happen, because I'm not going down on a sinking ship. That sounds absurd to me, to want to live through that mess, because it will be a struggle. It will 100% be a struggle. It will not be like everyone is instantly rich and there's oil and gas everywhere. Oh my God, we're all rolling in oil and money. But anyways, I'm not moving. Okay, and no amount of angry separatists demanding that I leave this province will ever make me change my mind, because why the fuck would I listen to you? That's weird that you think that I would care what a stranger thinks when I'm critiquing fair criticism towards a government that, in my opinion, are not doing their job for Albertans. I mean, I know some of you guys don't mind politicians doing nothing for you, but I, for one, do. I want my politicians to work for me because that's their job. Right? Their job isn't to just point fingers at other politicians and blame them for everything while they just, willy-nilly throw around taxpayer dollars and don't actually help support all Albertans. Call me crazy, but I hold all politicians accountable, and it's very, very blatantly clear that a lot of people don't do the same thing, which is just makes no sense to me, honestly. But yeah, you can keep telling me to move all you want, but Alberta's never going to separate, and I won't be moving. So I will move when I want to move, because I'm not planning on settling down in this province anyways. I genuinely think that people that hate Canada as much as these separatists do need to just move to the States, because that would be a lot easier than attempting to force an entire province to cut ties with the Federation here. All you guys are supporting is just wasting taxpayer dollars, and you're not going to get the result that you want at the end of the day anyways, which in turn will just make you guys even more angry, right? You guys will just be angry that you didn't get your little separation thing worked out, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't understand why, if you want to be, Americanized so bad and have like private systems and like this, that, and the other, full-blown Republican-style politicians here, because how does any of that sound good? Like, are we not all living in the same reality where we're watching what's happening in the States? I can make a prediction right now that if Alberta does end up separating, we will be taken over by the United States and probably turn into the next Puerto Rico, where the United States just takes what they want of our resources and gives us nothing in return. And the crazy thing is that I've actually seen some separatists say that they want the United States to take over Alberta, which just says to me, you're a traitor. Point blank, period. You are a traitor if you are okay with the idea of the United States taking us over. And I make no apologies for saying that, and I don't care if you guys think that is divisive of me to say, because this whole separation movement is divisive in itself, and a very small group of angry people in this province are the ones pushing for it. You guys are not the majority of Albertans. All right. I know your guys' egos are fairly inflated and you seem to think that every single Albertan thinks the same as you, but there is even conservatives in this province that don't support separation because I don't know, maybe they've thought a little bit beyond just the whole like word separation. You know what I mean? Like what all would go into it and whatnot and what that would mean for Albertans. And like I said in the last video, it doesn't matter how many of you guys come into the comment section and tell me that Alberta isn't free and we need to be independent, blah 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 blah. You will never convince me. You will never convince me that this is a good idea because it's not. And now that Pierre is the official opposition again, I really think that he's going to support your whole separation movement? What person, what politician with dreams of being the Prime Minister of Canada someday would side with the separatist movement and have his own riding leave the Federation? How does that make any sense? My only hope would be that Pierre is useful for once in his whole 20 years of being a politician and squashes this entire separatist movement. I predict that we're going to see some toning down of the separatist talk now that Pierre has won that by-election. Like, he's the whole reason why a lot of you separatists are crying and screaming about wanting to leave Canada anyways, because you guys were all up in arms when he mega lost that federal election, and then all of a sudden we start seeing all this separatist talk, you know what I mean? But now you guys have somebody to represent you in Ottawa. You have a suit in Ottawa to represent Alberta. Shouldn't you guys be happy now? Aren't you going to get fair representation with Pierre? Never mind, I forgot. It really has nothing to do with fair representation. You guys just want like the freedom to build like 1 million pipelines, right? And have like fucking oil and gas pipelines and abandoned wells all over this fucking province. So it just looks like an industrial park. And a lot of you guys are seeming to forget that we have treaty agreements. Like, this is treaty land. This isn't like your minority group, right? This isn't your land to just rip away from the rest of Albertans. The fuck? And from what I've seen from how the Indigenous have reacted to this whole separation movement, they aren't down for it. Letters sent to Danielle Smith to ask her to politely stop talking about this because it goes against treaty rights, that you guys are not going to have a lot of support from the Indigenous here. And you need that. You need that. Like, there's a reason why the referendum question that the separatists are trying to put forward was deemed too vague and potentially unconstitutional by the judge. And that's why it's like, what, being reassessed in a couple of months or something, or being held in front of a court, I think is what they were saying. Because everybody knows that it's unconstitutional and it's not going to happen. I just don't understand why you separatists won't live in reality with the rest of us. I understand you're angry. Your guy massively lost the federal election, but you're going to have to get over it at some point and maybe try getting a better leader of the opposition, right? Because Canada doesn't want Pierre. He's never going to be prime minister. So, and I guess you guys would probably rather just separate from Canada and have Pierre fucking run Alberta or some shit like that, as if that would be 10 times worse than Danielle Smith running this fucking place as a sovereign nation. But anyways, there's my yap about some of the commenters, right, or bots. I'm like 100% convinced that it's bots, foreign interference, if you will. And I'm not moving. So you can take that comment and, put it where the sun don't shine. Tomorrow's topic probably isn't going to be about separation because it feels like talking to a wall, because I know I can't convince the people that have been brainwashed and manipulated by like Rebel News, you know what I mean? All these like right-wing propaganda stations that are trying to convince you guys that it's a good idea, or all of the AI videos that I've seen get pumped out. Like, come on. You guys have to use AI to try and support your fucking movement? Like, come on. You guys are pumping out AI videos to show Albertans that separating is a great idea because you have nothing realistically in real life that would support that. The power of AI, I guess, right? AI isn't real life. AI is not real life, okay? Anyways, so there's that. Toodles!